we move on to react to Conmebol World Cup Qualifiers. Match day 11 finished. We get match day 12. Technically today, tomorrow really, but technically today since we are past midnight. Let's just use the proper English there. But just to recap what happened in Conmebol World Cup Match Day 11, Venezuela 1-1 win. Venezuela won. Said 1-1 win. 1-1 draw with Brazil. Brazil again, but struggling in Conmebol World Cup qualifiers. You thought that win over Peru, where they played a really good game over Peru, you thought that could have gave Brazil the you thought that game could give Brazil some momentum going forward in CONMEBOL, but but you know the draw they suffered against Peru. The draw they suffered against Venezuela seems like not the case. But yeah, obviously, it's really disappointing that result for Brazil because they want to build some momentum. But yeah, we'll see. Obviously, Argentina, they also drew with Venezuela, so Venezuela away could be difficult. And they can, Venezuela does make it difficult. Speaking of Argentina, they lost to Paraguay 2-1. Goals from Antonio Sanabria and Omar Alderete in the 19th and 47th minute. We saw an animated Lionel Messi talking to the officials. Argentina just looked a little stagnant, looked a little out of their way in certain periods of this game, and even though they dominated possession, didn't create as many clear-cut out opportunities as you expect from them. And they were deserved losers on the day, I have to say, even though they dominated possession. Chile 2-0 win over Peru in the no, not Chile. Not Chile. Not that one actually. You had Ecuador beat Bolivia 4-0. Really good win for Ecuador. I told you about Bolivia. They're a different team when they're not playing in that crazy altitude. It's uh, it's a completely it's a completely it's a completely different scenario when you don't have that altitude, and they're a completely different team because quality wise individual players, they're just not at the level of Ecuador. And yeah, Ecuador dominant 4-0 win, good win for them as well for goal differential, and they're moving up. They're now 5th place, which is an automatic spot at next year's World Cup with if they are able to hold their position. And Peru 0-0 draw with Chile, two of the bottom feeding teams in CONMEBOL as well. 0-0 draw doesn't do any of them really that well. With how low those two teams are, a point doesn't do squat for any of them. So it's clear those two teams won't be at the World Cup. And then Uruguay taking on Colombia was the game of this weekend. Hard fought game from Colombia, from both teams, and late goal from Manuel Ugarte. Uruguay needed this win because they haven't had much good results in World Cup qualifiers, and the way that they did it was gritty performance from them. And yeah, we're all so impressed with Uruguay getting that late victory with Ugarte. So, and then to discuss the real quick wrap up, tomorrow's game includes, or today technically includes some interesting ones. Now, Bolivia, they want to get back into their winning ways. They play this game. They're back at the Municipal Stadium in Alto in Bolivia with that crazy altitude that stadium provides, taking on a Paraguay team. I think Paraguay is gonna get suffocated in this one because of that altitude, because of how good Bolivia are at home. You know, they're unbeaten at home in the last few games now, playing in Conmebol World Cup Qualifiers, going up against Paraguay, which is not the strongest of opposition. I expect Bolivia to get that result. Argentina taking on Peru. I expect Argentina to get that result because of what Peru is not, and Argentina is, and they're going to bounce back, in my opinion, from that bad performance against Paraguay. Venezuela, Chile. Chile being at home is interesting, but Venezuela is the better opposition. We saw what Venezuela did at the Copa America. I will favor Venezuela in this one, but I think the fact that Chile is home can make this tricky. Colombia taking on Ecuador. I think this is a really, really good matchup between two teams that have high potential. I do think Colombia, just based on what we've seen of them of lately, they are the better team, and they're going to want to bounce back from that loss to Uruguay. Brazil taking on Uruguay. That's the big game now. Look, Brazil now, they've been poor this World Cup qualifying campaign, but if they can get the win over Uruguay, it can set a statement of intent going forward. Playing this game in Brazil at the Fonte Nova Arena, I don't know. I feel like Brazil might, now logically, it's hard to believe in them, what we've seen so far in World Cup qualifiers, but I don't know. I think they have something in them because, playing this game at home, we'll see. Thank you guys, though, for tuning into the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content updates. So thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to